What's cracking, yo? Welcome back to Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. So, I've been waiting to get to this video for a little bit now. Shout out to the boy A-Ram and Beach Bunny, both for recommending this one to me. Supposedly one of Larry Bird's best games, or his best game according to his standards. I haven't seen any game footage from the 1986 finals, so this is going to be interesting and new for me. A little bit of context about this series and its run as a whole. This would be the return for the Boston Celtics to the finals. They had the previous year, they had just lost to the Los Angeles Lakers. So in the off season, they wanted to check their weaknesses that were exposed in the series against the Lakers. So from what I've read is that they had a lack of bench scoring, which was definitely exploited after Kevin McHale had got moved to the starting lineup with Cedric Maxwell because he had some type of knee injury. In addition to that, Larry Bird, as we know with Larry Bird, played through an elbow injury which really impacted his shooting. But we know Larry Bird, he plays through all kinds of injuries. This is just what he does. So in the offseason, obviously they do some roster tweaking. They traded Maxwell to the Clippers for center Bill Walton and made a trade to acquire Jerry Sichting, can't pronounce his name. Sichting? Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. For Quinn Buckner. And those moves would pave the way for the Celtics' greatest season yet, and what many people consider this 1985-1986 Boston Celtics team to be what some consider, if not one of the greatest teams of all time, the greatest team of all time. So in the playoffs, Boston beat the Chicago Bulls in the first round. They beat them in 3 games. That was a notorious series where Mike scored his 63 points and whatnot. After that, in the second round, Boston defeated the Atlanta Hawks in just 5 games. And then after that, they took down the Milwaukee Bucks in just 4 games. So they had very little resistance in this run to the NBA Finals, where they would eventually meet the Houston Rockets, who disposed of the Los Angeles Lakers pretty easily, 4-1, I believe. And the Boston Celtics took care of business in 6 games against Hakeem Olajuwon and them boys. And from what I heard is that the Game 6 was pretty decisive as well. The Boston Celtics took care of the business, if you get what I'm saying. So enough for me blabbering. Let's take a look at this footage and react to why Larry Bird thinks he should have just quit right there. Let's check it out.
Numbers have become a big thing with basketball writing and just the way we think about basketball. I do feel like sometimes they kind of lose the impact, and I think a really good example is Bird's Game 6 in '86, which he said is the best he could ever play.
I never saw a man play a better game of basketball, ever. That's the greatest individual performance.
At the other forward, it is
Big Bird, baby. Laser Larry.
I would love just that tape to be shown to every high school and college coach, or every pro coach now, just everybody, just say, this is the greatest. This is how you can't play basketball better than this. You can't.
Look at that defense. That was good sag defense. If you're going to sag, you better intercept the pass if they try to throw it past you.
McRae on Bird. Step back shot. McHale picks up Rodney McRae on a switch. Sampson guarded by Bird, but Bird doing a good job against him.
Good ball denial.
Very aggressive defense.
And you look at the numbers, and it's like 29, 10, and 12, something like that. But it wasn't like he didn't shoot lights out. His PER wasn't the best of any Bird performance, but just being in the arena for that game and the way he played and how he was just everywhere on the court, like a free safety, just freaking maniac for 3.5 quarters. I've never seen anybody have an imprint on that game, scoring less than 30 points.
I never saw anybody, including Michael, obviously a vastly superior individual defensive player than Larry ever was, but not that day. Larry Bird read every play. He read every one of the minds of the Rockets before they made a move.
High IQ. High IQ. Many people have told me, and it shows through his play, Larry Bird was usually 2 to 3 steps ahead of everybody. Wet. Give me that. Yeah, he didn't even take that many shots. Running a fast break. Good pass. Smell blood in the water, baby.
Timeout, Houston. Lloyd loses it.
He is a bird of prey. No pun intended. A bird of prey.
He'll be jumping against Olajuwon and giving up a few inches, to say the least.
He about to win the jump ball against Hakeem? Oh, come on, Larry Legend.
I mean, how do you get the jump ball against Olajuwon? You know, you ask yourself.
Boy, he just created enough
I just said that.
himself to get up there and tip the ball. I'll tell you,
That's willpower, man. That's hard.
Get the tip against Olajuwon.
That's willpower. Ooh, that was Michael Jordan, Kobe-esque. Come here. Dude, that one of the I gotta take that back. I'm sorry. Listen, I seen Larry do some stuff, you know what I mean? But that might have been some of the best post footwork I've seen from Larry. And obviously I've only seen highlights of games and a few games here and there. But from what I've seen, that post move, that post footwork, I thought I just saw MJ or Kobe just now. Gave Hakeem a little bit of his own medicine, huh? I did not expect him to do that. Golly, boy. Get that ball. Get that boy. I love it. Pivot foot, spin. Keep that pivot down, boy. That's what happened when you were scoring for it. I love post play. I love footwork. And it looked good.
Larry Bird playing. And in 5 minutes, Red said this guy is going to be a great player. He had 5 assists in 3 minutes. Harris. And Wiggins fighting Bird.
Go ahead, Mikal. Yo, him and Mikal was quite the tandem. That was a hell of a pass. Bro, I didn't even see the player. Oh, I thought he was going to shoot it. Get that shit out of here. Bird of prey, baby. Ice in his veins. Give me that rebound. Hell no. Dude, he turned around the wrong way. That was such an unorthodox way to turn. Especially given the defenders. Look at this. Now see. Hold on, let me rewind. Now see, right here, drop. Now naturally, you would come back right and fade. Or wait, which way is he facing? This way? Yeah, you would come back towards the hoop and then fade naturally. But he spins, and the defender's there, so I didn't even realize how cut off he was right there. The defender's there, so he's cut off. Even still, he could have passed the ball, repositioned and got it back. But he turns the opposite way. That's tough. That's tough. That's a tough angle. That's a tough spin. That's a tough shot. Give me that. Fuck out of here. He said, I'm going to run to the three-point line. And fade on him. Let me take that back. Actually, man, I got to see that play one more time. I got to see that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I got to see that play one more time. Yeah. Turn around. Spin, turn around. Give me that. Yeah, I want that three. That was the only game I thought I was totally prepared for. As far as focus was concerned, none better. Never. I should have quit right there. Larry Bird.
Is Larry Bird satisfied now at this point in his career?
As of right now, I am. I know I got a lot of work to do this summer, but we want to repeat next year, of course. But we know it's going to be tough. If we keep on working hard, maybe we can do it again.
Larry, when will you pick up a basketball again and shoot it?
At least 2 or 3 weeks now. After this, boy, it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks.
Nice job.
Thank you very much.
The Cinematic Orchestra. Inspired by The Book of Basketball by Bill Simmons. So Larry Bird had 29 points, 11 rebounds, 12 assists, 3 steals, on 8 for 17 shooting, 2 for 3 from three-point land. And shout out to Kevin McHale too, who also had a beast of a game. McHale chipped in with 29 points, 10 rebounds, and 4 blocks, and held Hakeem to 21 and 10. And also, Ralph Sampson was held to just 8 points on 4 for 12 shooting. So they did what they had to do, man. Larry Bird led the charge with his wingman, Kevin McHale, right behind him. And with that championship, they would get their 16th championship. And they would not get it. That would be the last championship before the 2008 Celtics brought one home against the Lakers. And they beat the Lakers in 6 in 2008. I still have PTSD from that series. Don't get me started. But yeah, like if the man Larry, see, this is what I tell people though. It's also what I tell people. Everybody's so enamored with box scores. And yes, numbers do tell part of the story, but not all of the story. I take it all into context. The era from which you played in, the game, everything, style of play, pace of play, everything. So a lot of people hate talking basketball with me because they just like to throw analytics and numbers at me until I start dissecting them. I was like, well, let me dig deeper into these numbers and let's talk on a more advanced level. But a lot of people don't want to hear that. They just think it's straight. It's so straightforward. It's so black and white. This is what it is. No. And Larry Bird himself, 29, 11, 12. Larry Bird has had plenty of games that was superior statistically to this one. But it is more than that. Larry Bird said himself, this was my best performance. I was never more focused. I was never more dialed in. Not only did I perform, but my demeanor, my leadership, my tenacity, my defense, my scrappiness, my aura that I brought to the game impacted the game on all fronts. And I was able to lead these guys to a victory. This was my best performance. He even had a game where he came this close to a quadruple double in 3 quarters. And he didn't even say that was his best game. Almost had a quadruple double in 3 quarters. But Larry, and if this man says this is his best game, I'm going to take him for his goddamn word. Because he would know better than anybody. And he's Larry goddamn Bird. Shit. He should have quit right there. He said, I should have went out. That's how I should have just went out on top. Should have went out on top, baby. But when you're that elite and you had such a great run, such a great season, you can understand why you would think you would have a very good chance to come right back next season and repeat, you know. But it doesn't always happen like that. Injuries, all sorts of things. Teams get better. Teams start to figure you out a little bit more. There's all sorts of things that play factor into that. But yeah, man, there's those same people. It's more than just the box score. Watch the game. By me watching that, seeing his demeanor, seeing how dialed in he was, seeing the type of difference he was even making on the defensive end, and you could just his energy that he brought into that game, you could tell it was impacting the game and affecting the Houston Rockets. When you see a man that good, dialed in like that, not cracking a single smile on his face, that puts fear in the opponent. If they ain't built like that, to combat that, you can affect people's play. It's like, oh shit, this dude Bird is, golly. Now they start second guessing, stumbling back a little bit, got him in a corner, you keep pressing him. Bird brought that. I could just see it in his body language. You could see it in his body language. And I was able to pick that up from just highlights. You know what I mean? You know? Mamba mentality type shit, bro. Beast. He wasn't playing, man. He was out there. He was in the paint getting busy. He was all over the place getting busy. Hey, appreciate you guys for recommending this one to me. I'm glad I checked it out. Anybody else, you got any more video recommendations? I write them down. I cross them off the list like a Christmas list, all that. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and stay notified. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Go check out our reaction video playlist and our Larry Bird playlist. Peace.